That's right.
Yeah. Yeah, I cannot like wait till 1 a.m. because I have work at 7 a.m. So we'll get started. But yeah, last night I called sell on gold. It was a sell stop at 1540 right here, and I did set TP 1530, so it was 100 pips. But essentially it fell. It fell. Let's see here, all the way here. So the gold actually ended up falling 380 pips. So really major. But the thing is, it fell to this support. So this is intraday support, and it's holding here. So every time you see those wicks, this is not the full closure, right? So this is not considered break of the support or the resistance because it just wicks. So that's why you always switch to the line chart, and then you see where the price actually closed.
Close.
Yeah, it closed right into the this support. And the one thing is, you know, that doesn't mean necessarily we would disregard the wick, right? The wick, you know, they leave the, you know, imprint in the market as far as the price. So and usually wick get eventually filled with the momentum, but right now there's a consolidation and no real momentum to the downside. So if you see like a bearish momentum starting to form and this support start breaking, this will definitely get filled. And the next intraday support would really be around here. Actually, yeah, we will have to consider that definitely. So right here, and then yeah, this would have to be next one. So those are two next levels. If gold starts breaking, obviously fill the wick. Hey Bautista, welcome. Thanks for joining. Intraday support, as well as this. So pretty much tomorrow it's going to be massive move on gold as well. You know, if this goes 300 pips, so this is ADP is usually very strong indication of NFP. So when you have really positive ADP, most likely tomorrow the non-farm payroll should be positive too. So it's not like 100% indication of NFP, but ADP is pretty tied to it. So there's very good possibility that you know, the dollar will be strong tomorrow. But as of right now, there's really nothing to trade here because, as you see here, it's consolidating, meaning going sideways. So unless we see another touch here and confirmation that this support will hold more, then maybe potential buy. Or if we get the retrace to this resistance and rejection, then we can think of selling it further down. But for right now, there's really nothing to do here. Yeah, also this resistance would be between 50 and 61.8 retrace. So that would be good sell entry if we get this retrace. But for right now, nothing as it's consolidated. Yeah, this is also another example of consolidation. You see this up and down, up and down, up and down, raging. So nothing. Also here, this was a nice scalp until actually gold broke up. So my personal bias is that this will continue to fall eventually, if not over the night. After we get the retrace and pullback, then most likely tomorrow for NFP, the report should be positive for USD. So let's look at GBP USD. Oh, this is looking good. Let's see. Let's check this out. So GBP USD definitely broke downtrend, but it also stopped at the weekly resistance. So this big move definitely needs some correction. So if the dollar ends up being strong, we can definitely see this heading back down. I think somebody has mic issues. I think Logan. So I would like to not that arrow. So I would like to see something like this happen for sure. This could be a good potential trade if this resistance keeps holding the price. Let's look at it on 1 hour. Sort of a double top. Yeah. I'm definitely looking for this to come back down. Honestly, I was trying to figure out, guys, what actually pushed GBPs, especially GJ, and there wasn't really like any news that I'm aware of. Like, you know, I don't know, depending what this, government official had said, could be potentially what pushed it. Here, inflation report, that was, again, I guess, speed. So there wasn't like a major report that actually pushed it. So I would expect some correction on this. As you see, the whole week, GU has been pushing from Tuesday to tonight. This came up almost for 400 pips. So I'm definitely looking for this correction back to the zone. To retest. It did retest here. Once it broke, you see the wick came right into the zone. And, once again, it's really important to have your zones right. I wasn't at the charts, but if I have seen this break and retest, I would definitely bought it because it was a beautiful move. 140 pips to round it up. So we will see what happens during the London, but I will definitely watch for this. If you guys wanna, actually, I'm gonna copy this with you who are on the call, so you can watch it, use it as a reference, put it in the chat. Because it could be nice potential sell. Yeah, about 100 pips, maybe more, if we get another retest in this zone. So definitely something to watch for. GJ, let's look at this. This pair went up like crazy. Okay. So it did found resistance here. Okay. Yeah. Again, broke the downtrend. So GBPs are trying to make that comeback from being really weak for whole year, but I honestly don't think this will just keep going up. It does need some let's see, so 30, 40. Oh, actually, this is 1 to 3 trade. I'm honestly thinking this could be a good trade. Give me one. Yeah, definitely see correction here. We just have to wait for some bearish momentum, but I definitely believe this will come back down. to right here. Okay, so we will put this on the watch. And see if this starts breaking. So we get the alert, because this could be a really good trade actually. So essentially, let's go on a higher time frame. You know, you see on a 4-hour, obviously, very, very bullish.
Hey Jeff, it's time to celebrate
So,
Petroleum holiday commemorating your male parental. Oh, you mean Father's Day?
so these wicks are showing some rejection to this zone because it is intraday resistance. Feel free, guys, to write any questions in the chat if you have any. I can always stop, so you don't interrupt me. I don't have problem stopping. But the reason I'm looking for this sell potentially is because it hit the resistance zone and it needs correction from this entire move. Yeah, at least to 618. And those VIX in the 4-hour, they are leaving, you know, imprint that the price is struggling to continue climbing. So for that reason, I will be looking for this to come back down, at least for a decent retrace. So I will save this too, because I do like this potential trade as well. So it's in the chat. GA, what did GA do? Okay, GA is actually in between the zone. So it seems that it's going to keep pushing up. And there's really nothing I like here in order for me to trade it. And I'm gonna go over it. Why? It has this support on 1 hour. So reason for me not looking for this, because this is the intraday support major one on a higher time frame, 4-hour. This is just 1 hour support, but it seems that it's valid for right now. It's holding above it. So I am honestly seeing this come back up to this resistance. And from there, we can see if we get the rejection, or if this, however, you know, turns around and starts breaking this, then we can, you know, look for potential sell back to this support, and possibly the one right here where we have the, you know, this box highlighted. It does look like a double top on 1 hour. Bunch of wicks here, but this 1 hour, it's, you know, having a bullish momentum. So we never sell on bullish momentum, and also I wouldn't like to buy, because what it can end up doing, it can end up just covering those wicks right here. So liquidity zone, it can end up just coming back like, let's measure it. So it can end up coming like 12 to 15 more pips, and it can turn around from there. And it's in the middle of the bigger zone. So you never want to enter in the middle, because first of all, it's hard to predict which way it's gonna go, and your stop loss has to be much higher than if you were just selling off of resistance rejection or support rejection. So nothing for right now on GA. It definitely doesn't look like a good setup as GBP JPY. I'm assuming GN is going to be the same, because That's one thing about the pair correlation. GBP AUD and GBP NZD move pretty much the same, even though they're two different currencies from two different countries. For some reason, AUD and NZD correlate a lot, and they move along across the pairs. And this as well in the middle, actually exactly in the middle. This is weekly resistance. Um, 14, like that. So yeah, no clear direction. 60 pips to resistance and 65 pips to the zone and 95 to support. So nothing there. Definitely to avoid. As you see, it looks similar as GBP AUD. If we go back, you can see almost same. There's more wicks here, less full body candlesticks, but essentially it does look like double top on 1 hour too, with the rejection to the downside. So if there was a bearish momentum, then yeah, we can say, okay, so we can maybe sell this back to, to retest this zone. But since we don't have bearish momentum, it will be something to just leave for right now. Let's go GBP CAD. I haven't checked this in a while. This is actually at the resistance, so I like that. Oh, this is at a nice resistance. Let's if this can so this would be a really nice sell setup if we can get a little more bullish momentum to like either wick or reject this zone and then sell it back down. So this is another potential good trade. Excuse me. The only problem with this is this would have to make a move overnight before New York, and definitely before we get this employment and unemployment change and unemployment rate report from Canada, because this pair will move a lot once this report comes out. I won't trade it. Like I said, I will be at work, and it's one of my rules. I don't trade when I'm not present, meaning if I don't have full attention to the charts, I'm not just gambling, because that's not the way to make money. And I don't make guesses. I go off of the high probabilities. So, but some of you that you will be, available during this time or later in the evening, definitely something to watch. Hopefully, we get some of this further bullish momentum and rejection off of this zone, which will lead for a beautiful sell. Because you can see before in the past, the price came to this zone. It's called liquidity zone, and it rejected. See, once it rejected here, it was a sell for 170 pips in first and 165 pips second time. So usually you see 3 rejections off of the same resistance and support before it actually breaks. So I don't think this will break the third time it gets retest, which would be what we are hoping for right now to form. Instead, it would be another nice sell, because the rule of breaking a certain either trend line or support and resistance, it happens after. It can happen any time after 3 touches. So 1, 2, this would be third. So if we already had 3 and this was going to be the 4th, we would have to be a little bit more careful, because 4th, 5th, 6th time there is a much higher chance that this price will break up and continue going. But for right now, I'm pretty confident this will fall back down, and it would have to happen, like I said before, CAD news. Otherwise, anything can happen once those news come out, because it's NFP Friday, so the liquidity will be insane, and it's also last day of the week. And for those of you who are not aware of that, every week there's a certain amount of liquidity and money that needs to be exchanged in Forex in order to balance world economy. So whatever is left from this week will be pushed tomorrow, and I'm pretty sure tomorrow is going to be crazy, especially because once again it's NFP, and all major banks and hedge funds and financial institutions will try to take advantage of those news releases. So let's see, GBP CHF. This is now support. And this looks like it is breaking the resistance. Okay. Let's look at it on 1 hour. Yeah, this is actually confirmed break. So in this case, I would like to see something like that. And as long as this support holds right here, this is looking like it's going further up, which from current level, it would be 90 pips, pretty decent trade. And if you decide to trade this, the stop loss would be pretty tight, 20 pips, even 22. I actually do like this. I might be actually entering this now, because risk is really low and reward is 4 times. Okay, let's give me 1 second. I actually will trade this. I want to send this trade. The reason I'm going to buy this, it broke above and it closed in above the zone, and already made a double bottom, respected this newly formed support. So this will be support. That's why it's important to verify, on the lower time frame, and that is where you find your entries. And I'm seeing this coming back up. So 1 second. Entry 1.21627. And stop loss would be pretty tight, 21,420. Okay. All right, so, and let me enter my trade. Give me 1 second. All right. So I entered this as well, and let's see how it plays out. We're gonna mark it blue because we are in it, and we mark those two for follow-up. Once again, guys, if you have any questions, Write in the chat. Oh, okay. Let's see. Oh, this is looking nice too. The reason it's looking nice, you see here, breakout, retest, came all the way back down to the next weekly zone, which is weekly support. Dion, okay, I'll check that after this. So we had breakout, retest into the resistance, confirmed the breakout, and another sell-off. This was beautiful, beautiful. Look at this, 175 pips. Missed that, but it's fine. I don't have emotions when I don't miss something. I'm just glad that I have my zone right. And here we see rejections, and it makes sense because it is weekly support, so it's a strong zone. Let's see. I don't want that. Okay, so this just for I would like to see go back up because it rejected the zone. Okay, you are in a buy. Okay, no problem. I'll check that for you in a minute. I would like to see this go back up because we have, as you see, rejection here, and there's a high chance that this will come back up and will be a buy. But the reason I don't want to enter it because my stop loss has to be like 50 pips, and I try to reduce that. So if we get some pullback, once again, see also triple bottom. If we get a little more pullback here, so we can reduce, stop loss and risk, then yeah, definitely. But it's looking really nice for a buy. It really is. Euro AUD. So we're gonna mark that, and I'm gonna share this chart with you. So all the charts I share with you guys, they are looking like a really good potential trades. But we are on, I mean, if you entered with me, we are only in GBP CHF buy, nothing else. So you said Euro GBP and you are in a buy. Okay, let's take a look. Euro GBP, this took a beating too, obviously, because pound was strong and euro was weak. So okay, what was your entry, if you don't mind? And where are you looking to take this? Oh, you are short. Okay, because I was about to say this is not pretty for a buy. This looks like it will just retest 38.2, which is also the resistance, and will continue to fall. 89,550. So you entered here. So I'll be honest with you, that was bad entry for a sell. And don't get frustrated with me. I'll explain why I think that's a bad sell. Because you are entering, where is 89,550? We're gonna stop there. Okay, here we go. So you're entering after this pair has already fall 75 pips. So you pretty much miss the whole move, and you enter at the end of the move at the exhaustion. So luckily for you, there hasn't been a major pullback yet, and something that I personally see, I see this coming to retest maybe here, but I would hold it for right now. That's me personally. I would hold it, but keep in mind to not hold it past, let's say 89,900. So that will be 35 pip stop loss for you. So I personally wouldn't hold beyond 89,900 if this starts pulling back up, because it will close back into the zone. But I am seeing this sell, right? I am seeing this continuing to fall. It's just we have to see where this retrace will stop. But for the future, you have to make sure you have Daler. I'll check that for you in a second. I'll check that for you in a second. So in the future, Dion, just make sure you watch the structure and you watch the momentum. Really, where the sell should have taken place is let's clear this Fibonacci. So really, where the sell should taken place is once this swing low was broken. So you saw it come here, and you measure this with fibs. So start here, right there. So obviously this week, yeah, it gave strong pullback, but it didn't close. So you look the closure is at 50, right? So you watch for that, and then once you saw the momentum coming back down and continuation of this bearish move, and even if you were skeptical this candle fully closed, you should have sold on this candle right here, this one right there, and that would have been pretty decent entry. So if not this one, you see it gave strong push, came back up close, but this was really the entry for this momentum, and that would have been nice 45 pips. So that is something you have to watch for, because the one good thing for you right now is because this has broken down, and it's making lower highs, right? So it's showing really strong indication that this will continue back down, but however it does need little retrace. So just keep in mind, write down 89.90. If you see that strong push back up, might be a time to get out and wait, see if this resistance gets hit, because tomorrow might be a little bit crazy, even though there is no euro or GBP news, but tomorrow liquidity will be insane, because NFP, anything can happen unless someone who is a fundamental expert and can predict the news. You can, but I see honestly British pound being strong along the dollar, so this will help you push this further down. So hold it for right now, hold that sell, because you can still, because I do see it still coming back down, you can end up catching 64 pips. So just hold it. We had a question about the gold. Let's go back at it. Currently in a short, what's your take? Where did you shorted it? What level? And then I can maybe tell you, because right now it's consolidating. And it respected intraday support. So if you can tell us where you shorted, we can see. I can maybe tell you if you should hold it. So let's just wait for the answer. $15.21. Okay, not a bad entry. Let's see, 15.21. Okay, so right about here. Yeah. Okay, so this was your entry. Actually, this is not a bad entry. You enter on the top of this current minor resistance. This is not really strong one. So your entry was in this box. So with that being said, I would continue to hold it. But you have to keep in mind, let's just pull the Fibonacci back out. Okay. So yeah, you entered 38.2. I would continue to hold it. Because I do think dollar will be strong tomorrow, which will push it further down. But be careful to not hold it past 15.25. And especially extra careful if this just continues to consolidate, like in this zone up and down 20 pips. If this continues to consolidate and it doesn't really make a move before 8:30 a.m. Eastern time, I would, excuse me, I would definitely try to bring my stop loss at entry if you are still in it by then, because the gold will make a huge move tomorrow at 8:30, 8:31. Well, actually, by 8:31, it can move already 100 to 200 pips because it's NFP and it's going to be major news. So hold it for right now. That's my bias is that this will continue to sell further down. So, you know, just I would say trail your stop loss, but don't make it too tight. Give it some room to breathe. So right now you are in profit 40 pips. So I would, you know, I would personally put stop loss at entry right now. And the reason why, even if it comes back up and hits, you can always enter again. That's one thing I always tell people, you know, don't be afraid to put stop loss at break even, especially if you are away, because if the momentum kicks in, at least, I mean, if it kicks in against you, to be precise, you won't be, you know, going into negative, and you won't risk winning trade turning into losing trade. So that's one of the key things of you know, risk and money management, because that is, trust me, that is a key to, you know, making money in forex. You know, managing your money, protecting your winning trades, not letting it end up in a as a loser. So I would, like I said, personally put this at the break even. And well, for risk management, personally, you should use 0.01 per every $100 in your trading account. If you are trading crypto, meaning like a Ripple, Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum, whatever else, you should use 0.01 per every $200 in your account. And you should follow the same if you're trading indices, something like NASDAQ 100, US 30, and stuff like that. And also for the oil. So if you trade those, you know, pairs that have a higher spread and you know, that move a lot, they also do need some room, and definitely 0.01 for each $200 in trading account. I personally don't recommend trading any indices or cryptos unless you have at least 1,000, because it can eat up your margin. And what happens when your margin gets filled? The broker will automatically close your trades. So even if they are negative and they have potential to turn back into winners, they will be closed out because you filled up and you used up your margin completely. So you have to be careful. Like certain brokers also have specific margin criteria. For example, the last broker I opened account with, which is LMFX, they are a broker from Europe, Eastern Europe. Their margin gets really filled up when I'm in a gold trade, right? So if I'm trading gold, it takes like 3 times more margin than if I'm entering, let's say, regular trade like GBP, AUD, or GJ, or any other. I don't know why. That's just how they are set up. But other brokers, for example, Hugo's Way, which I have my main account with, it's the same margin as any other regular pair. So it really depends how your broker is. If you have IC markets, I know they actually don't allow you to trade gold anything less than 1 standard lot, and you shouldn't be trading at 1 standard lot unless you have $10,000+ in your trading account. Obviously, if you are following proper risk management, which you should be, everyone should be. And if you guys see me post like some crazy trades, those are mainly on my small account that I keep mentioning I use for flipping. So you would see me open many positions because I play with that. I usually deposit $100 and I just play with it. But for the serious account, and especially if you cannot like risk $100 at the times like that, follow 0.01 per each 100 in your trading account. So I hope that answers your. And what I already mentioned is to trail your stop loss, and on a regular trades, once you're in profit 20-25 pips, move stop loss at the break even, and make the trade risk free. Or if you're happy with 20 or 25 pips, you can close trade and go by your day or whatever you have, whatever you got going. Some people are very happy with 10 pips a day because it adds up in the end. But I know even myself, I don't go for 10-20 pips. I go for a larger move because that's how I trade. So if I get taken out from the trade, even when it's like 30-40 pips in profit, I'm fine with that because it will be at the break even, but I'm looking for that entire move. So hopefully that helps a little bit. Do you have another question? Sure thing, no problem. So that was about gold. Like I said, I will keep holding it, but make it risk free. So because you can always enter it back again. So we went over Euro AUD. We did now Euro GBP. Let's see. Yeah, it's pushing already. That's okay. Let's look at Euro NZD. Four-hour. Oh, damn, that looks ugly. The reason looks ugly. So many wicks both ways, and I don't like that. Let's see if we can find a better support here. Okay. Still not pretty. The reason still not pretty because this is big wick zone, right? And this is resistance now. Let's see if we can make this look a little bit better. Yeah, this has to stay resistance. Yeah. Right there, and yeah, this has to remain resistance. So there's no modification there. Wow, okay. When I see something like this, I immediately go to the next pair. And the reason is there's so many wicks to both sides, right? If there was only wicks to downside, which you see right here that I boxed them out, I would like that. But since we have almost as bad wicks on the opposite side, that's what makes me don't like it. The reason is, if those were only wicks, like I said, this will be called vectoring, meaning there's a strong rejection of the price from going further down, right? But there's also no strong indication that it will go back up. So either side can be filled, meaning those wicks can be filled with the full bodies, like candlestick bodies, like right here. It is sitting at the support, but let's see just per se if we were buying this. Stop loss wouldn't be bad, actually. It would be 20 pips. And take profit, let's see, it would be 46. So it is like 1 to 2 trade risk reward, but still no indication that this will come back up. On the other hand, what you should really considering is if this starts breaking down, right? So if this comes back down and the full body candle closes under this support, that will confirm that this breakout, and once it closes below this support level with the full body, then sell will make sense, because then you have a trade of 91 pip. So you see how story and scenario changes, and that is what I like to see and trade, but not this right here. I'm not afraid, of 20 pip stop loss, but the thing is that this is not the setup that I would trade. This doesn't make sense to me. It's weakening. There is no confirmation. Yeah, you can make a statement. Oh yeah, there's so many rejections in this zone. Yeah, they are, but look this rejection here. Look at this. This is pin bar, and along with this, it's a evening star, so it's gonna fall, and it fell down. Did a little retrace, fell back down to the zone, and now it's sitting on this support. So even though it is sitting on support, there is no confirmation for me that this will come back up. So therefore, I'm not looking to trade it. But once again, what I would like to see, if this breaks down into the zone and then closes below this and verifies this support as a resistance, and then sell it from there for 90 pips. That would make sense. And even if this end up being valid rejections and support holding, I'm not worried about missing 45 pips, because right now, me entering this, it's a pure play off of the luck, because nothing tells me that this will go back up. So you always want to look for stronger confirmation, for multiple confirmations if possible. And yeah, if this breaks below and closes with full body of the candle, this will definitely come back down to 72, 1.72. Other than that, really nothing that I would see and like to trade. So let's go. You're a cat. Yeah, this will move tomorrow insanely. Okay. Well, we had this liquidity zone here, and we did see here false breakout. False breakout meaning, yeah, it did broke below, but immediately reversed and came back into this resistance, respected it, and now so this could be heading back up, but similar situation. This is, if we were to buy this, in my eyes, this is late. The entry should have been either right here or on this pullback, and now it's starting to push up. So I would rather wait, see if this comes back here and it gets rejected, and then for the sell, which would be 50 pips. That's a decent trade. Or even if it breaks up and then you get this retest, and then all these reports kick in from Canada, and let's say they are weak, then this pair will shoot without doubt up there, and you could probably, if this happens, breakout and retest, you can have maybe 20 pip stop loss, and unless the news are really good for Canadian, this should be taking off back up. But for right now, I don't see anything here as well. So, and even this is not sure that it will keep rising, because it does have this 1 hour resistance here in this area. If you see, if you put it across, you see rejection here, rejection there. Yeah, this was breakout, but it came back under, closed under, and it's still holding for right now. So if you are a scalper, you see this breakout above, then maybe you can scalp the buy on this momentum, but it's not how I trade. So if you have K2 subscription to the signal and you get buy signal, maybe you can scalp this. But it's also in the cloud, so yeah, it's in the resistance, and the trend is not valid. So when it's this light bluish color, means it's undecided, it's indecision. If it's red, it's bearish, and if it's green, then it's bullish. So nothing for me. Yeah, you see it's already slowing down with this move, so I don't like it. Let's look at your JPY. Okay. All right, well, this definitely closed above. So let's just clear this up. And let me see something. Yeah, this actually broke trend too. Well, we will have to go here. Yeah. Yeah, definitely broke trend. So even though here, let's say this was a breakout, it was pretty much head and shoulders, and it broke back below, massive fall, 275 pips. So that was a false breakout, but this is actually clean breakout of the trend, of the downtrend. So there is a recovery on this pair, a decent one. So right now, let's validate this Right there, right there. Okay. There we go. So this will be resistance. All right, so almost in the middle. So if there's another pullback to this weekly support and you actually get the full candle to retest and then you get the rejection, I would definitely get into this buy. Should be a decent trade. Well, 46 pips, so not bad. Or since this is already headed towards the middle, if it breaks back above this resistance and it closes, then you can look at taking this up, right? And let's find the next zone. And next zone is actually 100 pips up. So yeah, if you get something like this, break retest, you could look to take this further up, right? Right now, nothing really that I like. So either this scenario, break above, retest, confirm the breakout, take it up, or we get a full body retest of the weekly support with the confirmation that support is still holding, and then you can buy this also most likely to cover this wick here, because wicks do get filled with the momentum. So your TP1 would be here, which we said it was 46 pips, and then TP2 essentially 68. Okay, so that is what I see on Euro JPY, but currently no entry on it. Let's see USD CAD. Okay, today I got a lot of messages. So the dollar was really strong, and why did USD CAD fall? Well, because Canadian was probably stronger today as far as fundamentals. But you could have seen here, I shared this last week that I had this zone. Yeah, it did broke back up, but it rejected resistance, came back up, closed into it, confirming, that it's still serving as a resistance. And it was a beautiful, beautiful 100, almost 140 pips. I personally, yeah, 100, 145. I personally had sell around here. I think it was 33,150, and I closed it at 32,750, so about 40 pips. I wish I have held it more, but yeah, I closed it here because I saw this wick. Yeah, that is why I closed. When I saw this rejecting, I thought it was gonna reject this zone right here, right, which sort of was support. So right there, but obviously that didn't hold for a while, and it just kept breaking down. So that proven to not be a valid support. And supports on a lower time frame are really valid, like on a 30 and 1 hour if it's consolidating, or if the the liquidity is not high. But once you have a high momentum, as you see, it carried it all the way to this support. And right now, USD CAD, let's see, it would really depend on tomorrow's NFP. Let's see. Yeah, we can count this as a resistance now. Okay, like that. So like I said, I mentioned earlier, I'm personally biased towards strong dollar tomorrow, but it was strong today as well, and this pair fell down. So it really depends on what CAD report would be as well. But at the moment, as you know, from the technical side, this looks like it's going to create the M or double top right here. And if it respects this resistance, it could be potential sell throughout the night. London, 45 pips. If this is your pair and you agree with what I see, good, you can go for it. I will not be trading it because it's not most likely it's not going to move during the London a lot. It's probably going to honestly consolidate around this area right here until 8:30 a.m. Eastern time, and the news hit, and then it can go anywhere really, because I'm not sure what news will be. But if they are positive for USD and CAD is really weak, then this could definitely climb back up, right? So that's something to keep in mind. And also, guys, make sure if you want me to share any charts to let me know so you can follow through. We're going next to the Euro USD. Okay. Also, if you have any questions, definitely type in the chat. I don't have problem stopping. Well, this actually looks like it's gonna go back up. Yeah, this looks like it's gonna go further up. So came up, broke into the zone, retraced, and it's respecting this now. So this is holding strong for right now. And I personally see this going back up. So this is about 70 pips, if I see right. Yeah, 71.2. About, yeah, 71.2. We have a message from Josiah. I just want to say thanks for teaching. You're welcome. You're welcome, my friend. Try to do this as much as I can because I know the frustration of Forex, been through all of it. And I always teach the way that, you know, I have found it to work pretty successfully for me after testing so many different strategies and things. So yeah, this if you trade Euro USD, it's not one of my top pairs, to be honest. Those who follow me for a while, like our friend Dion here, he knows I mainly trade gold, GBPs, and few Euro pairs. But from the technical aspect, this looks like a nice breakout retest here, and it's having slight bullish momentum. So yeah, my bias is that this will keep going to this weekly resistance because this didn't really tested it. So there is a possibility for this pair to you know, come back up and rejects this weekly resistance. Let's see if you were to enter now, your stop loss would have to be, well, that's actually nice. You can even give it some room. Yeah, this is even 30 pips. That's not a big or large stop loss. So it's like 1 to 2, 1 to 3 risk reward, depending where you decide to put your stop loss, but it will definitely have to be at least below this. We are just talking this in terms, if any of you decides to trade this, your stop loss would have to be below this, because we have possibility of this coming to test this support on a smaller time frame, which is right here, right? So it would have to be right below this bearish candle, and if this turns out to be what I would like to see, then it's 1 to 2 risk reward. What's my take on US30? I will take a look at that. So yeah, I'm biased towards continuation and rise on Euro USD. US30, let's find it. Here we go. Oh, okay. This is at the resistance, double top. One second. Huh. This is really interesting. Well, first of all, on a smaller time frame, well, this is intraday. Let's label it. So we do that. This will be support. And I am going to check this on a weekly. Let's do that. Okay, well, weekly support is quite far off. This is almost weekly resistance, but it's been only touched once, so we'll just keep it labeled as a intraday, because we did see it here being rejected, and then once it broke, it had a retest, and also once we had a break back down, retest, so we'll just leave it as intraday resistance. So what it looks right now, to answer your question, it looks like it's respecting this resistance zone right here. This is just some weak prints, so liquidity zone. On a smaller time frame, it's making a double top or M formation, which is one of the bearish patterns. But the thing is, it's on a high bullish move, really, bullish momentum. So I personally wouldn't sell this until, let's make this prettier. Okay, so I personally wouldn't sell this until it breaks this trend line, right? So let's say it comes back into this zone and then starts breaking this, then I would sell it. Or if it continues, to consolidate here for a little while, and then it breaks right here, you can enter the sell. Or you can wait to see if there's going to be retest, which would be even stronger confirmation, then this will come back down. So I will share this with you, but be careful tomorrow. Like I said, it's NFP, and this will move a lot. Like this will move probably 1,000 pips tomorrow, if not more. So I just put the link to the chart. I saved it as it is. But yeah, this will move tomorrow. Easy 500 pips at least, easily. The only way this might not move a lot is if, let's say, what was it, USD? So really what's important is non-farm employment change and unemployment rate. So I would say it might not move as much if those forecasted numbers are actually what official release would be tomorrow, if it's exactly the same. Even though when it's exactly the same, it does make currency strong, right? As long as it's not like much weaker, then the currency will be really weak. But if it's off like 3,000, if it's instead of what they predict 163, if it's 160, then it might remain balanced as far as the currency strength. And if this goes down to like 3.6, 3.5, I don't think that will be a major weakness, rather balancing. But if they come positive, this will go to the moon. Like this will probably test this highs right here, 27 plus 100. And stock market has shown some really good strength today. Read some good reports and positive ones. So honestly, everything is pointing out to a strong dollar tomorrow, but it can also be a trap. It can very well be a trap that you don't want to be caught in, because right here, looking at it on a daily, you see this previous day rejected the zone, and the current daily is still rejecting it. So I would just watch it on a smaller time frame and see if you get any confirmation. But like I said, I do not recommend trading this unless you have 1,000 in your account. And if you do, I would honestly at the most go 0.03 with the lot size, because this pair moves a lot. What was this? This was September 3rd. So in 2 days, this moved 826 pips in 2 days. So yeah, and tomorrow NFP, you can definitely expect this to move at least another 400 or 500. But I remember days when people showed me this pair moved like 1,500. Like I think this was, let's say, one day, 14 August. Yeah, this is all one day. So let's look at it here. So in this day, this pair moved 920 pips in just one day. And here was probably even a bit more. Actually, from here. So that is 1,037 pips. And this wasn't even NFP. So really be careful. Really be careful. I know you probably see some people trade this, and there is NAS 100, which is NASDAQ, and they make good money. But the thing is, they studied these indices and they follow them. This is support now, and they get a good entry, right, with the reduced risk. So that is the way you want to trade. You always want to look for the best entry possible, and it's all based on high probability. Let's just check this. Not a pretty structure. Let's see, 4 hour. Let me see something. This broke up. Yeah, because all stocks are doing well. Yeah, this was confirmed breakout. So this can continue back up. So I don't trade it a lot, and if I was to trade, I would follow US30 because it's much better as far as the technical. But this is, on a strong bullish move as well. So yeah, unless you see break of this trend line and break below, I would not be selling this. So let's go back to regular pairs. We covered USD CAD, USD. Let's look at the USD CHF. Oh, I had this marked up, and oh wow, it's perfect. Okay, let's see. So 4 hour. Let's see to verify this. Yep. And okay, yeah, I like that as a resistance. Okay, well, yeah, strong USD. Let's look at it 1 hour. Okay, well, as far as the technical, this could be forming for sell. Once we see the rejection right here in this area around the resistance, because you see once it broke before, it did held, so that verifies this as a strong resistance. So if you see any rejection here, this would be a trade you can take. It's 32 pips, but like I said, it really depends on your trading plan, which you should have. What pairs you trade, when do you trade, how many pips you go for, because without the plan, you're just chasing it. Me personally, I don't like it. First of all, it's not the main pair I trade, and second of all, I don't really go in a trade for 30 pips. If I do, it's because I don't see anything else. So yeah, I would watch for this to come back up a little bit more, see if it respects this resistance, and then potential sell. Also, what you could wait for is to see if this, because there's a chance that this could keep consolidating like along this zone right here around the resistance. Same thing you see right here. It could be a similar scenario, consolidation for hours. So if same happens here, and then you see the break of this trend line, then that's even safer setup for sell. But as of right now, nothing really on it. Some people will look at it, say, "Oh, it's double top. I'm selling this." I'm not selling it because this can very well be from here to here. This could very well be 50% rejection and continuation to the upside from here all the way back up, especially if the dollar is going to be strong, like everything is pointing out to. So you never want to trade what you think, just what you see. So this was a good scalp entry. Obviously, I missed it. This happened 5 hours ago, this rejection, and it came back up even if entry was here, 13 pips, so not a bad scalp. But right now I don't see anything on it. Let's see USD/JPY. Oh, okay, another rally. So okay, let's see this. Okay, yeah, I like that. So this is support now. Yeah, well, no entry for this as well, because already made move up. It broke, it gave this wick retest here, and now it's on the way further up. So if we get this retest of the zone and it confirms that the price is not going to continue this bullish momentum, this would be the sell zone 107,560. But for right now, it does look like it will continue back up. Now, if you wonder, okay, so if you pretty confident that this will go back up, why don't you take this trade for 45 pips? And my answer is because it's in the middle of the zone, and I don't trade in the middle of the zone, because this can also very well come back down, retest this, and then come back up. So this is gambling for me, and I don't do that. And I always trade zone to zone. Zone to zone would be coming back up, retest this resistance, confirms rejection, shows some bearish momentum, and then we sell it back down to the support. And that is zone to zone. Same thing, if it falls back down to this support, shows a rejection, bullish momentum kicks in, we buy it to the resistance. Just make it simple and safer. No, because now if you enter this, I mean, you literally just guessing stop loss. Yeah, some people will say put it right below here. It's only 22 pips. Yeah, it's only 22 pips, but why would I risk $300 just because I'm expecting this to go back up? I'd rather wait and see if it does, and then sell it. So no, nothing for right now. Let's see AUD/JPY. Oh wow, okay. Yeah, well, JPY became weak all of a sudden. Wow, this is insane. This is worse than like GJ and UJ. Okay, it found some resistance here. But it's really not as resistance zone. Okay, well, maybe here. but I don't like it. But that is the closest one we can relate to. So let's go back. All right. Okay. All right. Similar story that we've seen in few other pairs. So the one thing with the trend lines, we don't want to cut body candles, right? We connect along the wicks and the bottom of the candlestick bodies, but we do not cut bodies because that would be invalid trend line. So really what I would like to see here, is this maybe come back down, test this trend line again, comes back here, and then breaks down, right? And that would be a good sell. This is support. Tells you that I didn't check this pair in a little while because it was not updated. So I would like to see something like that, or maybe if it breaks right here and retest this trend line for the sell-off. This could as well be one scenario. This zone holds right here, then this would make a sell case, right? And it will be about 90 pips. But for right now, nothing really. It's consolidating. Yeah, it's consolidating and forming this resistance on 1 hour, but there's no breakout, there's no retest, there's no momentum to this intraday resistance. So resistance, okay. So it's just something to watch, no proper setup. Let's go back. What is GJ doing? Actually, GJ is pushing back up, and that's why we didn't enter it. Well, not really. It's holding. Okay, I'll definitely watch this. I will probably be up. The session will go till 11. If you guys have more questions, which is 30 more minutes, but I will be up. I have some personal stuff to finish, so I will continue to watch this. This could still be a pretty nice sell. If this rejects, it might come up to fill this wick. So I will be watching it. That's why I marked it. What else did we had marked? We are in this buy. So we are up half pip. So still valid for a buy. So that is the only trade I marked. GCAD. Let's check this. Okay. Well, we might be seeing rejection here already. So I'm gonna set the alert. If this breaks, let's do here. So yeah, we either get the retest, or if the bearish momentum kicks in, we'll get the alert to sell this. But for right now, still nothing. And what else did we mark? We marked UAD. No, we said we want to see another pullback into the zone. and see if we can get into the buy. So nothing yet. Euro NZD. Okay, here we go. It's breaking down. So let's see if we get and maintain the closure below, then we can sell this. So that is what we were talking about earlier. So I will keep an eye on that. Okay. Probably happens in the next 2 hours. So I will be watching Euro JPY. We recently went over that. Yeah, there's no pullback. We want to see the rejection from the resistance or pullback to the support for potential buys. And that is all we marked. We are in GBP CHF. It's marked blue. And we have 5 pairs to watch. So if I see anything on them, I will call a trade. Yeah, gold respecting that. So now I just wanted to see if you guys have any further questions, or you want me to go over one specific pair once again, or if I have not gone over it and you would like me to, or if you have any other questions. We have 26 minutes. So anything here, you can either unmute yourself or type in the chat. Overview on oil. Good one. We did not cover that. Here we go. And yes, the session is recorded, so it will be available for the study purpose. Okay, well, 1, 2, 3, this is fourth touch here, but it looks bearish. Let's see. Yep. Personally, I see this falling, Dion. I see this falling. As you see here, well, to be a little bit. Okay, yeah, let's cover that too. Oh, there we go. So this looks like a really nice break and retest of the trend. Also respected this resistance. Yep, definitely valid resistance. Just making sure. So personal take on this, that it will fall back down here, possibly further down, but really depends on the CAD news, because strength in Canadian dollar is very tied to the oil, because for those of you who don't know, Canada is the leading export of the oil in the world. So strength in their currency is pretty much tied to oil movement as well. The reason you had such a huge bullish move on oil is because the report was really good, as you see here, right? Very, actually twice better than what was predicted. So but as far as the technical side, yeah, I mean, you can Google that too. I like oil personally. I really like to trade oil. It's just that most of the time, honestly, I don't get to it, because like the pairs that you see here, this group, gold, GUGJ, up to EJ, I pretty much always find something to trade on this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Really, it's 10 because GCAD and GBP CHF, I don't trade as much. So it's usually something to trade on them because of their liquidity. But once I get to the oil and I see a nice setup, I definitely will consider trading it. Or if somebody points out, hey, can you take a look? It looks like it's setting up. Then yeah, if I like it, I'll definitely enter as well. Because like I always say, I enter trade based on the good setup, right? If I don't see anything or if I'm not present, I'm not gonna trade just for sake of trading. Because that's not gonna make you money. And usually best practice is to try to limit yourself to 2 to 3 trades a day, because that will help you with over trading, and it will help you with the greed. So let's say you took 2 trades and you had the great winners, right? Great return. There's no reason for you to trade more. That's when the greed starts kicking in, and especially if you are not a pretty experienced trader, there's no really point on doing that, because the market can really humbles you down, especially if you make a decent amount on those 2 winners, let's say, and you know the emotion take over and you over leverage and you go in and then you lose the profits that you just made. Because you should really look in terms of return on investment. If you have $100 account and you just made $20 today, it makes your account 120. Yeah, it might not seem much, but that's 20% return in one day. Like that is massive. That is massive. We all want to make thousands overnight, but you have to be realistic. You have to relate to your account size and expect and accept a realistic return. You cannot expect to make 500 off of 100 overnight. By compounding, yes, you can compound 100 to 100,000 over time, but not overnight. So this, yes.
That's good night.
What's that?
I wanted to ask you something with the as I see you have your oil setup.
Okay.
Your setup, like how you have it there with the intraday resistance and stuff. Is it possible to share that chart with the markings on it, or TradingView does not allow you to do that?
Yeah, if I take this, let me put this in a chat, and once you click on it, let me know.
Okay, I'll check.
If you see it, I just put it. So let me know if you can open it clearly.
I'll try to.
So that is 1 hour, and I will also send you with 4 hour. Let's just label this.
So it's on Telegram or on this chat here?
Here.
Here? Okay.
No, I don't do the Telegram. I make sure that people who show up get the full benefit.
Okay.
And because if you are serious about it, I will be as serious as possible to help you.
All right.
So like I said, I do this to help you guys, but you have to show some initiative as well. So there you go. Also have a 4 hour. So let me know once you open that if you can clearly see it. Those levels to the right.
I'm not seeing them in the chat here right now. Let me see if I refresh the chat.
It's in the Zoom. It's in the Zoom chat.
Yeah, in the Zoom chat right now. The last thing I saw is the one that I sent me the oil. Let's see.
Oh, sorry, it's mistake. It sent it privately to one person. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
So here, that should be 4 hour, and let's
Right.
go back to 1 hour. Yeah, for some reason it was changed. So you should be able to see it now.
Yeah, I got the link here now.
Okay, so let me know if you can see both.
Right, so yeah, I'm seeing the chart with the mark. Okay. So this is your setup on the support and the stuff. For
Yes.
the,
Yeah, that is what you see right now on my screen. This is
okay.
exactly the same thing.
Okay. The second I watched now you drew the trend line. From the beginning of the trend line, what the touching point was. I saw you put it on the bullish candle.
So right
Mm.
here, the reason I put it right here is because this is where this bullish trend started, on this bottom. You see, this is where the momentum kicked in, and then
Right.
it touched here, it came back up, and eventually it carried this bullish trend. It came
Okay.
back down. You see how it stopped here, right? But
Right.
then essentially it broke and it retested it, and it also respects this intraday resistance.
Okay, so you put it on the bullish because it's going up. Usually when I draw my trend lines, I do the opposite, but I think that's a mistake that I make in the sense of sometimes I'll put the trend line to run on the bearish candles.
Well,
That's
that you would do right here. So either from
right.
here, like something like that, or once you see that this fell down, and you see the structure, this would be your trend from bearish standpoint.
Okay, so that would be for bearish.
Yeah, so from here to here, but you see how it came, broke, and retested, and then it just kept going back up.
Okay.
Yeah, this is really like the safest way to trade. When you see break, retest, and continuation, you just if you didn't buy here, it's no big deal. You wait, you see this break, you see, two dodges, retesting that zone, and that trend, and there you go.
Okay, understood.
But the thing is, you don't need a bearish trend here because it was in a bullish. So what you look here, you see if there's going to be some bearish momentum to push in to this intraday support, or if this I can delete it now because you have it, or if you see maybe consolidation and then break to the upside, above this zone, and this resistance in that instance will turn into the support, and then you can look for potential buys to this next resistance.
Go up, yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, make perfect sense, to be honest.
Yeah.
All right.
But great question.
Right.
Do you have any other pair you wanted me to take a look at?
Well, I checked the earlier one for me, the Euro GBP. Well, I still have that running for now.
Yeah, hold that.
Well, it actually pushed up a bit, so right now it's in profit. What's other thing I was looking at?
Well, you're still up 6 pips, so
yeah, for now. I actually was looking at the US pairs earlier on. That is particularly Euro USD and AUD USD, but I think that they haven't begun to. Actually, they did. They dropped a lot. I didn't even know it dropped so much.
What, the USD pairs?
Yeah, the USD pairs.
Well, the only one that really dropped was USD CAD. All others rallied because the USD was strong. So the gold dropped. So this is one thing you have to consider. So when the USD is strong, all pairs that start with XXX USD will fall because the USD is strong against them. And all USD XXX, like USD CHF, you see it coming back up because USD is strong. USD JPY, you see it coming back up because dollar is strong. The only one that fell was USD CAD, but that's because the CAD was stronger than dollar.
Right.
and you know, it even then you see the pullback here, and now it's just consolidating because
Right. That was because of the news.
well, most likely this will continue consolidate until tomorrow when the news kick in.
And NFP and everything like that.
Yeah, so that's why I'm not looking really to trade any USD pair.
Okay.
Because I'm not sure, I haven't had enough time to research about NFP, and like I said, I don't gamble. We entered this, we are up 6 pips already. So I'm looking for this to keep going.
That brings me to my next question, because when we enter the GBP CHF,
Right.
the Euro GBP it began to loosen and loosen. So right now they both are around 6 pips from when I entered.
Yeah, so what I'm expecting is strength over there, but you have to understand it's GBP against CHF, and here you have Euro against GBP. So let's say you know, GBP shows strength, this will fall. This will fall, no doubt, and I do see this falling. I was just telling you to be careful if it starts pushing past 89.90.
Right.
Yeah, that's I do see this falling down, but what I was just trying to point out is for the next time, try to find a better entry, because you entered when it already dropped 75 pips from here.
Yeah,
so,
entered really late.
Yeah, so it wasn't the best entry, right?
Okay.
And you wanna try to learn to get better entries, because you pretty much missed the whole move. You entered towards the end when the pullback started.
Okay.
Yeah, but I do see it falling still to this weekly support.
And then that will be probably within after next week. Well, next week, sorry.
No, this can happen tonight.
Okay.
Yeah, this can definitely happen tonight, because this is not huge. This is 60 pips. This can definitely happen tonight. So yeah, just remember, you know, once you are in a profit 20-25 pips, you know, protect it, you know, especially like I said, tomorrow it will be crazy. I will be at FOREX, so I don't have to worry about it. I won't trade it. But yeah, tomorrow some people you know, go into high state of happiness, and some people definitely go into depression. So yeah, I seen people turn $400 into 10,000 for NFP.
Really?
Like yes, I know the person had $400 account loaded just for NFP, and sold USD CAD 15 lots. The reason he was able to sell USD CAD 15 lots is because he had a trader's way and leverage 1 to 1,000. And another thing, as soon as the news hit, it was straight drop. Like there was no spike up, like how they try to take you out and manipulation. It was straight fall. So immediately, as soon as he entered, it just fell 70 pips, and he made 10,000 off of 400. But I also seen people lose thousands of dollars, because if you want to play with the news, you should have separate account for the news. Do not trade news on your main account. Do not do that.
Makes sense.
Because it will blow your account, especially if you over leverage. Because I'm telling you, it can move like 100 pips in 30 seconds, less. So, and if you are on the wrong side, you know, you already know the outcome.
Okay, makes sense.
So yeah, that's pretty much what I wanted to say. You know, I mean, like when I'm home for NFP, I would, you know, put like $100, $200 in a separate account, and I'll play with it, you know, because that is money I'm okay with losing, because I know if I predict it right, I'm gonna make 5 times that, right? So, but I don't suggest that, you know, doing it if you are new, if you're not experienced with NFP, and if you are, you know, not okay risking the money.
Right.
So I rather you guys focus on, you know, development. You know, I want you to, you know, learn the simple way. You know, I share how I trade, and you know, start compounding and you know, making money.
All right.
So yeah. So let's see if we have any other questions. Otherwise, we will wrap up the meeting, and as soon as it's converted, I will have Sean upload it on the website so you guys can go back and watch it. We did cover, you know, some nice stuff. Also, I explained you once again how I, you know, trade in it, and we were, you know, looking for the live setups. And you can also refer back why we took buy on GBP CHF, because we had nice breakout and retest, and we're looking for continuation. And it's a small stop loss because we got a good entry. So do we have any questions? Feel free to unmute yourself or type it in the chat. If not, then we will conclude the meeting. And like I said, the pairs that we marked here with the red, GJ, GCAD, EURAUD, EURNZD, EURJPY, I will continue to watch because I have some personal work to do over next hour or two. And if I see that it confirms as a, you know, good trade, I will call it in trades alerts, so we can hopefully benefit from it. But yeah, this is what I like to see. I like to see this push and see if it rejects this zone. We were talking about that. Most important lessons that I learned: not to overtrade, not to over leverage, and not to have what they refer to FOMO, which is fear of missing out, which I mentioned earlier. Like, yeah, so this broke up, and you know, it showed the respect, confirmed, and it came back up. And when I go back and see that, you know, it was perfect setup and what I would trade, I don't feel bad. I don't have emotion that I missed it, but rather I'm happy because I have my zones right, and you know, I know it works the way I learn. And yeah, so those are the most. And risk management, definitely risk management, that is the very much key. You have to understand, learning technical analysis is not hard, and it might sound silly, but that is only like 10% of what it takes to be a really good trader and successful over time. The main thing is controlling your emotions, and your patience. You know, some days you have to literally sit on your hands, you know, because you know, some of the best trades end up being those that you didn't took, you know. And it's not end of the world if you see something and you predict it right but you don't trade it. It's rather, you know, should be encouragement for you that, okay, so I was right when I saw this setup. Let me see if I can find the same setup tomorrow, or maybe day after tomorrow, or maybe next week, and let me try to identify patterns on this pair, and let me back test it, see if when this same you know, structure forms, does this pair do the same thing? And that is how you start to identify and train your eyes, and you become really good. So it's pretty much about, you know, let's say learning and you know, waiting, being patient, rather than, you know, chasing and being greedy. Because you know, I know at some point you will see, or you have seen people make really big money, but you have to understand also some people have large accounts, so they really don't need to catch 100 pip move to make big money. Example, if you have 100,000 account, you would probably trade anywhere between 5 and 10 lots, which is $50 to $100 per each pip. So if you get 20 pips, that's $1,000 to $2,000, and 20 pips is not hard to catch once you become a good and experienced trader. It really isn't. I mean, you see, for the month of August, we caught almost 1,400 pips. So if you traded at 10 cents, that would be $1,400 that you should be in profit. And imagine if you traded at one lot, that would be 14,000. And if you had account that you can trade at 5 lots, that would be $70,000 for 1 month. So it's really about the compounding effect and being realistic. Yeah, you can definitely become rich off of Forex, but it's not overnight, it's over time. So those are really the most important lessons I learned. And besides that, drawing proper support and resistance, and just trade zone to zone. So that was a good question. I mean, I understand, because like I said, I've been through that. My first year, I lost $14,000 in Forex, because I was trying all different strategies based on indicators, moving averages, Bollinger Bands, MACD, RSI, stochastic, this scalp, that scalp, this swing, that swing. The problem is you should choose one strategy and stick to it. If you're a subscriber to K2, it's really easy strategy to follow. You literally follow the signal and you verify if the trend matches it, and you can really make. If you follow me, I additionally teach on top of everything, price action. It takes time. You have to take it seriously. It didn't happen for me overnight, and it really doesn't happen overnight. I had to take a big step back after first year, and I was like, well, you really cannot keep doing this, because I even end up losing some of the school grant money that I got from the university. So yeah, it wasn't good. So I went through all of it, through over leverage, through over trading, through losing money that I couldn't really afford to lose. So and I was also at the point where I was getting annoyed when some of my mentors were trying to explain me that don't focus on what others, just focus on your own development. And that really helped me. It really did. Another thing I would really highly recommend, a lot of people and pretty much everybody who is involved with Forex uses Telegram. I would really recommend not being in 100 different chats. There's few reasons for that. Number one, you cannot keep up with that. Number two, maybe what I share, somebody else will share completely differently, right? So that will confuse you right there. If you are not sure what you should do and you see many different opinions, it will end up confusing you. So you should not be in 50 different Telegram groups and chats. And number three, you should really get involved in the community, because closed mouth don't get fed, I always say. There is no shame. Nobody will judge you. Community that we create, it's here to help you. So if I'm away, somebody will be there to answer your question, to give you opinion, and even second, third opinion. So that's all it's about. I was, I became that person after my first year. I asked questions. I was attending every session that I possibly could, especially when I knew that the trader holding it was holding it for free, and I knew that person really knew how to trade. So I definitely can benefit. Only thing that I had to invest is my time, and if you don't invest your time to learn something, then you know, I personally don't watch TV. I always try to, you know, find something to, like, you know, learn. And I was already, you know, in a, you know, big loss from the forex, but I was not ready to, you know, give up. And I knew, you know, I had to put extra effort, and I knew I needed to take it seriously, and in order for me to see the results. And once I start doing it, that's when I saw the change. So hopefully, you know, everything I mentioned, Josiah, will help you. So definitely get involved, ask questions, share your own chart, and that is the best way to learn, by practicing. So if your support is not right, it's not end of the world. If you don't have resistance at the right point, it's not end of the world. If your trend line is not okay, it's not end of the world. That is how you learn, by practicing. This is literally practicing. And over the time, you literally can tell by just opening the chart. Okay, this is where resistance is. Let me just verify. Let me go back here and, you know, find, yeah, it is, because once it broke here, it you know, it respected it. So now, you know, that's serving as a resistance and stuff like that, you know. Like, I know once it breaks here and holds above, there's a high chance that this will go back up, and that's what ended up happening. So don't feel shy, and you just have to fight. That's it. You know. And if you are, let's say, example, if you are still on demo account, that is fine. Forex will not disappear in you know, few days, in few months, not few years, not even few decades. So you have plenty of time to make money. You should really focus on you know, getting education, and then once you do, you can start applying it. I wonder if there's a buy signal on this. Hey, Sean joined us too. What's up, Sean?
Hey, Anas, how's it going? Just got home.
Good, man. Good. Yeah, home.
Yeah. How's your stuff today? Good.
Yeah, it was good, but there's some complications, so I'll let you know about it.
Gotcha, man. Hopefully it's all good.
Yeah.
It was good seeing you. I haven't talked to you in a while.
Yeah. Been a
you've
little
been busy.
wild. Yeah, pretty busy.
Yeah, same here. Are you getting into any trades right now, or are you just looking?
I called GBP CHF buy, so that's currently 6 pips in profit.
Nice. I was just in odd NZD. I entered a sell around pretty high. Like I made like 10, I think 10, 15 pips, but I just got out right now. I got stopped out. I was trailing it with my stop loss.
Which pair? NZD CAD or?
Australian NZD.
Oh, AUD NZD.
Yeah. And
right here. Sell, right?
yeah, I wrote it from about 0.0690. So that's pretty decent.
Well, it hit weekly support, that's why.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I trailed it with my stop loss. I figured it was going to bounce back.
Yeah, but I like, you know, the way you trade. You trade brave, because me, usually when I see it approaching like a major zone, I usually don't take it. But I mean, obviously K2 just makes it really nice for you. Did you enter here when the signal was sent?
Yeah, I entered right there. I was using the K2 strategy, but I was tying it with the Ichimoku breakout strategy. So like, you know how it closed outside the Ichimoku cloud?
Yeah.
Usually when it does that, it usually demonstrates that a breakout is coming at some point. And then I don't know what happened right there when it pulled up, but good thing I had my stop loss at 20 pips, so it saved me.
Yeah, because it was at 18.
Yeah, exactly. And
Yeah,
good thing
good.
I have no spread, so it was good.
Exactly. Yeah, that's big deal.
That's what stops a lot of people out. It's the spread. So like, thankfully I have no spread.
Yeah, that is true. The spread, and that's why, you know, you should really like whoever has a account with a spread, especially if it's larger, you should incorporate that into your stop loss.
Oh yeah, always. Stop loss as target.
Yeah, so if you are entering sell here and your spread is 3 pips, so you plan to put 20 pips, you should put 23 pips stop loss.
I agree. Exactly.
And
yeah, I used to do that, but it's too much work.
yeah. Yeah, I think this will reject, man. This should be a good sell.
I was looking at GJ too. There's news coming up though, right? I got let me check.
For
I think Europe. Let me see. I think the pound. Let me see. Oh no, it's just an NFP tomorrow.
Yeah, boy.
Oh man, are you gonna trade that?
No, I'll be at work actually.
Oh yeah, I'm not trading that. I'm just gonna watch, but I'm not gonna put any live trades for that. It's too dangerous.
Nope. If I was home, I would maybe play with like $100 or $200 just for the news flip. But no, definitely not putting any of this on like main account.
Yeah, no, definitely not.
Because this is gonna be huge. Like today, look at this today. ADP was 53,000 over from the last month. So this is usually good indication that NFP should be strong for the dollar, because most of the time ADP release is tied to the what is it called, to the non-farm payroll change, right?
Mm-hmm.
So even if this is like same as forecasted or the previous month, dollar will be bullish.
Nice. Yeah.
So
yeah, too.
So yeah, I mean, somebody asked me earlier about US 30, and I was like, you should be really careful about that one.
Yeah, I don't trade those. That's way too volatile.
Yeah, that will move at least 500 pips tomorrow. I can guarantee you that.
Yeah, that's
that on a regular day moves 400. So imagine NFP. I seen it. I remember days that moved like 1,500 pips.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's like gold on steroids.
Yeah, like one NFP. I do actually remember, and this is not exaggeration. You can go back a few months and find it. One NFP, US 30 moved 2,000 pips.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. That's pretty crazy.
So imagine if you enter the trade and somebody calls you, your boss, and then you don't get to put your stop loss, and by the time you finish the call, that pair moved 2,000 pips.
There goes your account.
Yep. Oh, it will go before you even reaches 2,000 pips.
Oh yeah, you'll get margin called out.
Yeah. And the broker will just close your account. So
that's the worst feeling when you get margin called out.
Yeah, don't play with that. And I told them I personally don't recommend trading indices unless you have 1,000 or more in your account. And even with that, the most you should trade is 0.03.
Mm-hmm.
No more than that.
No standard loss.
Oh no! I mean, you won't be able to. Like, you won't have margin.
Yeah, you'll get stopped out right away.
Yeah, to trade indices at one lot, you should really have at least like 50,000 account.
I agree.
I don't think you will be able to open trade with less than that, and with a higher leverage, not 1 to 50.
Oh yeah.
So
even with account that big, if you're trading a US account like me, it's gonna stop you out for sure.
I mean, you have to understand also one thing, guys. When you enter US 30 and you don't have account that Sean has, which is no spreads, you will usually have at least like 50 pip spread. So if you are entering at one lot, you are already down $500 just to enter the trade.
Yeah, the spread is crazy.
Yeah, and go ahead.
The spread's also high during that time too.
Yeah, on Hugo's way, I remember spread can go up to like 200 pips. So imagine you enter at one lot. During that time, you're already down 2,000. You just entered the trade.
Yeah, it's insane.
You're already negative 2,000.
Yeah, so, and it's like impossible to get out because there's so many orders before you. If your broker is a first in, first out,
Yeah.
The last in line.
Yeah, not something to play with. You know, I know a lot of some people make a lot of money off of it, but you can make a lot of money just trading at 0.01 if you
Exactly,
you predict its direction. So
yeah, even if you do just by luck and just bare minimum,
yeah. And when you trade them, you need larger stop loss. You really need like 300 stop loss when you trade them.
Yeah, it's a lot.
So you have to calculate based on your account. Can you hold? Can you sustain that drawdown? That's really
Yeah, I'd rather not even risk it.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many pairs and opportunities. I don't even trade it, and I trade live for more than 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
So, because I know I can catch enough on these pairs right here.
Yeah, during like the whole month, you'll make more than enough and
Yeah.
less risk.
Okay, I'm glad I told him to hold this sell. It's pushing down, so that's good. He left. Yeah, it was Daler, I believe is the name. Yeah, he had sell at 15.21. I said just put the stop loss at break even, and now up 70 pips. So yeah.
Nice.
I mean, it's scary for tomorrow. I was telling them, Sean, everything points out to a strong dollar, which could really be a trap.
Yeah, because they'll move it a few pips, like 20 pips down, or like your USD move it down a little bit, and then right back up.
And then reverse it 200 pips.
Exactly.
Because tomorrow at 8:30 a.m. it will be at least few hundred billions pumped in the market.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
So,
I agree. It's gonna be crazy.
Yeah, I mean, Nasdaq was up today. Stock market was up today. ADP was 53,000 over. Everything points out to strong dollar, but that's usually can be a big trap.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
People probably still have massive sells, and what can happen? This wick can be covered, and then NFP kicks in, and this goes 400 pips up.
Yeah, I could definitely see that.
So no reason, because like I seen people lose. I seen people make money Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then on Friday lose it all on NFP. Like, why would you do that? Like that doesn't even make sense.
Yeah,
like,
or they hold the position over the weekend. They come back with like negative.
Yeah, and gaps like crazy. Like, why would you do that? Like, you just had 4 great days and you risk everything on NFP because the greed kicks in and you think you're gonna. No, that is when market humbles you down. Trust me, I've been there too.
Same here.
It's not worth it. Like that. Like and let's just say you lost money, right? That it's monetary. It will be recovered. But the thing is, you go into weekend feeling like you just got hit by the truck because you're gonna be so emotionally distressed, probably depressed, and you will be down on yourself so hard you won't even feel like doing anything. And the weekend should really be not even thinking about the forex, just relaxing, spending time with the friends, with the family, doing something you like, because you do need a break. You need little personal time.
Oh, so, yeah, definitely. I agree.
And you have to understand, you gotta be able to control emotions.
Yeah, I've been down that road too many times.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, we had to learn it hard way, and I always say that I don't feel ashamed. I lost 14,000 my first year, and I'm grateful I did, because it helped me learn. Gladly I learned. I could have lost much more.
Same here. I learned so much from my first year. I lost 10,000 my first year, and then now I make that in a week.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
But you invested in yourself, you invested in education, and you know.
Exactly. Lots and lots of practice every day.
Yeah.
Still today, you know.
I mean, every day is practice. I still learn, guys. I still learn. I didn't stop learning. You know, I slowly, you know, look for additional things I can learn, test it, and if I see something that is efficient, I share. It doesn't cost me anything. If you can benefit from it, I'm happy. I don't need you, you know, to pay me for that extra, because I know I'm gonna benefit from it and I'm gonna make money anyway. So
Yeah.
if you decide to show up here, I'll definitely make sure, you know, I help you as much as I can. And that's why I stopped sharing our analysis and giving them screenshots in the chat, because it tells me they are not serious enough. Yeah, they can see the recording when it gets converted and uploaded to the website, but they will miss all these markups that can potentially play out, and we covered, right? Like this GJ rejection that could end up being 90 pip sell, maybe 100. But you know, it's not fair, you know. You guys show up and then, you know, for everybody, you know, it's not being selfish, it's just, you know, I want to make sure you guys get rewarded for you. First of all, it's free, and when I see people that are dedicated, I'm very happy about it.
Yeah, definitely. Always. It's always better. You know, we'll help who's here first before we help whoever's in the chat.
Yeah.
Because we post stuff all the time in the chat, but people don't even look at it. So what's the point?
Yeah.
Yeah, Anas, can you show me how you determine your support and resistance on the weekly? I want to see if it's like how I do it. I'm pretty sure it's the same way.
Yeah.
Just like an example, because I was doing it today and I was like, I'm pretty sure this is how you do it too.
So let's go right here. We have strong. So I go on, obviously, on the weekly, and
okay,
then switch to the line. From the candlestick, I switch from the candles. I switch to the line chart.
Mm-hmm.
You do that too?
Yeah, I do the same thing. It's easier if you see the points.
Yes, and then you find those curved areas where the price made a sharp turns and respected few times. As you see here, also here, respected, and then eventually broke through.
Perfect.
And then I put I use thick blue lines for my weekly support and resistance. So right now we have this bottom weekly support, which, you know, I found off of the wick from here, I believe, because there was no like full historical data, never been this low on CHF. And let's say if we needed to find the resistance would be right here, this area right there, because you see how much traffic is there. Nice. You see there's a sharp turn right there, another one before it broke, and then once it broke on below, it you know, rejected 3 times, and on the 4th time it was the breakout. And you know, once this turned bullish, the market came back down, made double bottom, and you know, respected again here, and then eventually, you know, this was all Brexit.
You know, Brexit took a toll this week.
Well, the reason GBP kicked in a little bit bullish is because they did interview with few of their officials, and they said that like they really don't want to push yet one more time the Brexit. Like the deadline, it's October 30th, I believe, or 31st. And also they want to go with no Brexit deal. So they want to leave European Union without agreement, just on their own. And you know, that's what you know, brought the strength in GBP.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Look at that, Sean. If we sold over there, 1700 pips.
Yeah, on the trend line, that would be nice. Very nice.
Perfect trend line.
Definitely.
Oh man. Oh, GCAD.
Okay, let's see.
What is it? See. Oh, okay. Sell.
I think it gave a buy signal. Yeah, it's a retracement signal, but it obviously came down, so it's not going to close.
What, the GCAD?
I think so. We're at same.
Well, it had sell here.
Oh no, you're right. Yeah, so that was a buy signal then. So the notification we just got was for a buy signal, but it looks like it might have pushed up a little bit and it came it crashed right down.
Okay. I see what's saying.
Yeah.
It
It looks like
resistance.
Yeah, rejected like right away.
Yeah.
It's kind of risky. I don't know if I'd ride that up, even though it's it looks like it's gonna go. It looks like it'll hit the resistance, but that's pretty risky.
Well, it hit the resistance here,
Mm-hmm.
and it
Yeah,
rejected.
I don't. You think it'll go up to the weekly?
Well, weekly is.
Or I mean, what's that red thing that you have there? What's the?
Oh, that's liquidity zone. Sorry.
Oh, okay, yeah. For me, when I put my resistance, I use zones too. So my resistance looks like that.
So yeah, I see this structure here.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah, that's why I was hoping for it to push a little bit further up so we can get better sell entry. That's why I marked it, you see, with the red potential trade, but it's already rejecting here.
Yeah, it's already tested it a couple times too, it looks like.
I think it still will push back up, to be honest.
Yeah, probably around midnight. It'll push up a little bit, and then it'll come back down by tomorrow.
Yeah. Do you have any pair you want me to go over? Because I do have to get off slowly to do some stuff. But or if you want to continue with the call, it's up to you. I can make you a host.
I actually got to get off too. I gotta start making the results for the Instagram.
Oh, okay. Yeah. The summary.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I'm always behind. I always have to do it at the end of the week. Oh, Dion's gonna sign off. He just say good night.
Oh,
Thanks
okay.
for coming, Dion.
Yeah. Good night, brother. Thanks for stopping by.
Yeah. So I'm not really looking at any trades right now. I think I might just sit out the rest of the night. I've been having a lot of bad trades where I leave them overnight and they just reverse.
I mean, if you're gonna be up for like next 2-3 hours, you could probably find some scalp. I'm pretty sure you will be able to. I mean, I'll be up for next 2 hours too. So if I see something, I will, call it. But for right now, there's no entry for really waiting here. You see, I want to see this pullback on Euro AUD once more right here, and then see if we can get this for a buy. Next one was Euro NZD. I'm waiting for this to test. It broke below. Like you see, this was marked, so it did broke down. But I want to see a pullback and retest to confirm, and then it should be nice 90 pips sell.
Nice. Yeah, I'm looking at EJ right now, but it looks like it's getting near the resistance, so
EJ?
I might wait on that.
Yeah, I was hoping for EJ to pull down a little bit for a buy, but let's see. K2. Oh, it's sending buy signal, man. Look at that, confirms with the trend.
Yeah, confirming the trend and the Ichimoku too.
Yeah, it could be a buy.
Yeah, I got that, but it looks like I'm just worried because it's gonna touch the resistance soon. For your support and resistance, do you do the same process for the intraday as well?
Yes, it's just I look on the 4 hour and on the daily. If I don't see the one that I like on the 4 hour, then I switch to daily, and then I find it on the daily.
Nice. Yeah, I do the same thing. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
Good
but what's that?
Okay, good to know.
Yeah. But for the box, like what you see in here, this is done either on a 30-minute or on 1 hour, and this here, like we're on the smaller time frame, the market left the weak prints like that. It creates liquidity zone. So what they can do, they can push this down and push it back up once the institution place like a sell limits, and people will get in. They push it down, people will get into the sell, and then they start reversing it back up, and people get scared and get out, and they just massively sell it off from there. It can really happen like that. But you see, it's a nice rejection. That's what I was trying to see.
Yeah, that looks good.
Yeah, so we'll see if we get momentum going. Yeah, right now it's pushing, but it's not gonna. It's closing in 32 minutes. So 30 minutes. If it closes below this resistance, then yeah, but right now, not yet.
Yeah, possibly if it gives a K2 signal, even more confirmation.
Yeah. So yeah, that's pretty much I had on here.
Let's see. Yeah, I don't really see anything else right now either. I've seen some signals, but it looks like price is kind of in consolidation right now. Like GU is moving straight. All of them, all the GBPs moving straight.
Yeah, because it's really movement will be tomorrow.
Yeah, I think everyone's just waiting right now, sitting on their hands.
Yeah. Sometimes it's okay if you don't find trade.
Yeah, especially right now, it's too risky. Like you don't want to get I'm worried to get into something and then it's gonna move again at the by tomorrow, but like moving randomly because of that.
Yeah, that's the worst thing when you enter trade and then it starts consolidating like this, up and down, 10-15 pips, up and down for hours.
Yeah, exactly. And then there's no way to get out. You're just stuck.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna wait for more confirmation for the other pairs. It should probably pick up a little more past 10.
Yeah, well, that's one. Yeah, 1 o'clock here. Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Once the Asian market closes, then a lot of people will start moving in for the European market.
Yeah, I mean there could be some really decent moves during the European session because I know they will look to push what's left from their liquidity as well. So
yeah, definitely. I know this. It's definitely going to move a little bit for people that would need to still get out before the weekend.
Yeah,
a lot of the institutions for sure.
Yeah, I can see that. All right, since we don't have any more questions, we will conclude this. And Sean, once it gets converted, I'll send it. It ended up being 2.5 hours. So.
Oh, you're on for a while, huh?
Well, yeah, for 2.5 hours exactly now. So.
Nice. Yeah, when you send that to me, I'll convert it and I'll put it on YouTube so everyone can watch.
Okay, sounds good then. And if I see this trades confirm, I will sell a signal.
Sounds good. I'll be in the chat. I'm gonna be doing work, but I'll be in the chat.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah, I'll try to keep an eye to just have a few things to finish.
Sounds good.
All right, thanks guys for joining, and it will be uploaded on YouTube, and you can guys rewatch it. And if you see something you need further explanation on, we can discuss that and go over it again if necessary. So I'll catch you in the chat.
Sounds good. Thanks, Ines.
No problem.